Hello everyone. Through this video I will present my research called Fostering Self-Regulation Strategies to Enhance Sentence Construction in Lower Primary Learners. The structure of my draft is composed first for an introduction, then the state of the art that has four subsections. The first, the sentence construction in writing, that is my linguistic competence. Then my strategy, which is self-regulation strategy development. My tool, which is e-portfolio, and then my population, which is lower primary school learners. And finally, I will present my conclusion. Starting with the introduction, I exposed how we are currently in a technological and text-oriented world in which writing is a very important skill. However, writing is also considered the most difficult literacy skill to acquire uh, for both first and second language learners. In this skill, sentence construction is one of the most important sub-skills that are necessary for the writing production, and this skill is developed in the first years of primary school. So it's very important that since the very beginning, young children start developing sentence construction. And this process requires levels of self-regulation. Although these topics are relevant, especially for ensuring an excellent writing process along the academic years, little is actually known about the effects of sentence construction, especially when self-regulation strategies are mediated by a technological tool such as ePortfolio with lower primary school English learners who are Spanish native speakers. Now I will delve into the four subsections of my state of the art. As I said, I chose sentence construction in writing as my linguistic competence. It is noteworthy to mention that writing is a cognitive and complex process, and that sentence construction is a foundational component of writing where many students face serious difficulties. Some of the most significant studies in first language has been carried out actually with children that have different learning or language disabilities. In L2 context, in L2 acquisition, the understanding of sentence composing and whether there is a possible transference from the first language syntax processing and sentence composing is equally relevant. In this sense, in L2 context, the studies that have been carried out have examined the complex syntax, the word factors, the unfamiliar structures processing, and argument structure construction. The evidence shown before displays a gap in the literature in the sense that research considering the link between sentence construction in elementary school Spanish-speaking students learning English and the importance of self-regulation strategies in the writing process has not yet been found. The relative closest studies are made by Forrest et al. And Impon Alves, but with English native speakers. Now, moving to the strategy, it's important to mention that self-regulation in the writing process has been widely acknowledged by several seminal authors like Hayes, Chang, and Zimmerman and Riesenberg. In this domain, self-regulated strategy development, it appears as an important model of instruction that has been shown that positively affects learners' writing in their first language. Likewise, efficacy of self-regulation strategies at enhancing foreign languages learning and learner autonomy has also been recognized by different authors like Andrade and Bunker, Andrade and Evans, and Oxford, Pinterest, and the Growth. In this sense, recent research on self-regulation strategy development in second languages focuses principally on its utility on writing persuasive essays, writing performance and motivation, vocabulary learning, collaborative modeling of text structure, and descriptive writing. All of these studies demonstrated the effectiveness of self-regulation strategy development on their respective writing competencies, and most of them were carried out with adults, except the study made by Feng 2020, which focuses on sixth graders. Nonetheless, only findings of Limp and Alva's 2018 suggest intervention with self-regulation strategy development that may be beneficial for learners that have difficulties with sentence composition, and for Read It All 2017 delved on this subject, but within English first language speakers. Therefore, there can be seen the need for research examining the effects of self-regulation strategy development on sentence construction in English language learners from the first 3 years of primary school. The tool that I use to implement my strategy is ePortfolio. Um, e-portfolios provide the educational benefits offered by the paper-based form by the normal portfolios. The benefits such as reflection, documentation, and collaboration. E-portfolios also work as digital containers for diverse multimedia content, such as pictures, videos, audios, and different visual material. They can also be adapted to diverse pedagogical needs in the different levels of education, early childhood, primary, secondary, and higher education. And in second language learning, research has focuses on the effectiveness of ePortfolio as an alternative and interactive form of assessment. It has basically focused on that aspect. It is worth noting that although some studies have examined the utility of ePortfolio on enhancing self-regulated learning and goal orientation, the evidence demonstrates that nothing is known about the effects of the specific self-regulation strategy development on sentence composition in primary school learners. Now, considering my population, it should be pointed out that young children are to be both learners and thinkers who develop metacognitive skills. Indeed, primary students are expected to learn literacy skills even in digital formats, especially nowadays with the technological advancements. They are also expected to learn a second language because it has been considered more beneficial at their early age. In this regard, some authors have highlight the importance of learning a second language for developing cognitive skills. Other authors highlight the importance of learning a second language for being more prepared to face the challenges of the 21st century. However, other authors consider that the benefits of learning a second language at early ages is more a political issue that should be under consideration. Um, but in fact, recent studies in second language regarding primary school learners are rather scarce. There is one made by Eagle focused on how English language learning and teaching styles have influenced students' perception. Another study carried out by O'Connor and Giger examines the target population of this paper, first, second, and third graders, though its focus was on the challenges teachers face in the South African context. Moreover, research on native Spanish speakers learning English has emphasized other strategies such as bootstrapping or motivation. In this sense, it must be stressed that only two recent studies have examined the importance of sentence construction and self-regulation in elementary school learners, though with English native speakers. This previous context makes evident the need for research on these topics with lower primary learners who are Spanish speakers. As a conclusion, I highlight that despite the relevance of sentence construction instructed with self-regulation strategies in primary school English learners, along this presentation it was demonstrated that little research has examined its effects, especially when implementing e-portfolio. So I raised the question, how is actually sentence construction affected by self-regulation strategy development mediated by ePortfolio in lower primary school English learners. Here you find the references, some of them that I use for my draft one. Thank you very much for your attention.